It would be memorable indeed.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for DemoFest 2024. My name is Mark Green, and I'm the Director of Buyer Enablement and Pre-Sales here at Consensus, and I will be your moderator for today's session. DemoFest is presented by Consensus. Consensus is leading the world into a new era of demo automation. Our platform gets your buyers what they need when they need it, and then multiplies your revenue team's impact with unique insights on those buyers. As a result, you'll see faster close times, larger deals, and higher close rates. You can learn more at goconsensus.com or view the automated demo at the link in the Docs tab on the right of your screen. We are very excited to announce again that we are bringing DemoFest on the road again as DemoFest X. And we had a great time in San Francisco in February, and we can't wait to bring the event back to London and New York City again this year. You can register to join us at either of these events for free at demofest.com or use the link in the Docs tab on the right of your screen. Now, we encourage you to participate in today's session, and on the right of your console, you can see a few ways to engage with us. The chat function will allow you to engage as well as other attendees. Throughout the session, you may see a few polls. We encourage you to participate as your feedback is important to us. Our speaker will be taking questions from the audience at the end of the session, but we encourage you to ask questions at any time through the Q&A box. If at any time you are having technical difficulties, head to the gear icon at the bottom of your screen. And here you will see a document to help troubleshoot common issues. And now, it's the moment you've all been waiting for on the second day of the freshest and most impactful thought leadership event from over 50 global professionals. And to kick us off, I'm honored to welcome back to the stage CEO Doug Johnson.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome everyone again. I am Doug Johnson, and for those that weren't here as we kicked off day one yesterday, I'll say it again. I am just thrilled to be a part of this and thrilled to be here. And before we get started, honestly, I wanted just to thank you, all of you, for being a part of this and helping create this industry, for coming together, for helping us innovate and create this form of DemoFest where such good things happen together. We have 3 days together, 4 tracks, and over 50 sessions attended by thousands of people from all over the world, 40 different countries, South Africa, Lithuania, Bangladesh. We're looking at in Brazil. It's now a global effort, and it's really, we see it as an opportunity to learn, from the world's preeminent leaders in pre-sales and buyer enablement, and also connect with each other. It's been awesome, and there obviously is more to come today and tomorrow. Our consensus commitment, let me be clear, is we will continue to invest and make DemoFest a place for all of us to come and shape our futures. Now, I think you would agree, it's truly an exciting time. It's a revolutionary time, frankly. Through technology, pre-sales is influencing every stage of the selling motion and is reaching every step in marketing now, and even the selling funnel. There are 3 simple observations that I believe are fundamental, that I think that you should capture, and I think are game changers for us. The first is this, that up until this point in time, buying has been broken. Buying is broken. Gartner reports 77% of B2B buyers say that buying software is overly complex, it's difficult, and this is no surprise to us. Buying software is really, really hard for the buyer. Deal cycles are now getting longer, not shorter. And I heard Garen yesterday in his session talk about how the number of decision makers have involved in each deal are growing. About 10 years ago, approximately 4.5 decision makers. Now, over 10 decision makers are required to get a yes for enterprise buying. And buyers themselves report this to be well an awful experience. And it leaves them feeling unempowered. It leaves the buyer feeling impatient and frustrated, and it leaves them feeling helpless. So that's the first point. The second thing that we need to take away is that we know customers are truly preferring to buy digitally, asynchronously. Customers want to buy on their terms. This is an important fact. Only 17% of a prospect's time are in front of a live person. 83% of the buying process is without sales support, without a pre-sales person. It's asynchronous. All right, so there's 2 points this morning we're bringing up first, then we'll get to the third one. Buying is broken. Up to this point, buying has been broken. And number 2, customers prefer to be served digitally on their terms. And our last point, number 3, there's a better way. There is a better way. Customers have spoken. Your customers will buy more, they'll buy faster, and if they're digital enabled, if they are in fact digitally enabled and dealt with asynchronously, your customers will buy more, they'll buy faster. So how's Consensus looking at this? Essentially, we think about it this way. We're extending your pre-sales knowledge and talent and skills through the buying journey with our technology, making it easier for buyers to buy. And as I said yesterday, and I'll repeat it here, pre-sales and your knowledge is in demand. It's in demand through the buying funnel, because now we can digitally enable the earliest demand gen effort, marketing effort, all the way through the eventual prospect C-suite with demos and tours and digital experiences, which will travel virally, adapting to each viewer, revealing hidden stakeholders, and answering key questions along the way. We feel this powerful data on buyer traffic and buyer intent is critical to our mission. We feed this data back to sales teams with every buyer click, multiplying the sales team's selling readiness and impact. And it's all done in seconds. Consequently, this new term has been born, Demolytics, Buyerlytics. This is the analytics surrounding the buyer and the buyer group. But let me level with you. I have spent over the last 20 years, maybe more, around that C-suite and those executives, and very forward-thinking board members and terrific investors, some of the best investors around. But until recently, pre-sales was never mentioned. The pre-sales voice was not in the room, missing from this audience. But I guarantee you will pique their interest, because a data-proven connection between digitally enabling this buyer group and their journey and its direct revenue impact has immense value to the C-suite and of all sizes and of all types. Because CEOs and the C-suite cares, and particularly CEOs, care about risk of failure. They worry about what's not seen and opportunities missed. And this is a remarkable opportunity. When I speak to fellow CEOs, I just mentioned these profound results. With our tech, we see customers double their closed deals, And that's not all. We see deal sizes increase by 50%, and our customers' speed of close rates improve by 30%. And undeniable. I mean, those are incredible results, right? So, and actually, let me share with you some just late-breaking empirical information that I think is so exciting as well. We now see that if a buyer group has 12 demo views or more, whether it's 12 views of one demo or 12 demos with one view each, it doesn't matter. If we see a buyer group with 12 demos or more, win rates now have risen to 72% at consensus. This is the kind of groundbreaking data that can really help you design and accelerate your sales strategy. So absolutely exciting times, arguably revolutionary times. So now let's talk about what's next, because that's exciting, but what's next? Here's what we see next. AI playing a very vital role in assisting the buyer group and the seller on their journey. We have a product called Clarity that you're going to meet shortly that's going to be driving this. Our CPTO, our Chief Product and Technical Officer, Mike Taranfo, is going to be talking about it today. But we believe that this pre-sales driven AI fueled technology will be used by marketing and sales and pre-sales and extended all the way through customer success. And we believe that Clarity, our co-pilot, will be assessing the intent data of buyers and sellers alike to deliver next best actions. So we're underway building that today. We're super excited about it. We want to really enable this buyer group to have an unparalleled experience and really take the pain out of buying. We want to make buying easy. That's the key. And in doing that, revenues will soar. So look, DemoFest is the place where all this comes together. And DemoFest is the place where all of us come together in this industry to change this industry. And together, I really do believe that we're going to complete this mission. And together, we're going to win. So absolutely, like I said yesterday, and I mean it, why it says that on the slide, we'll win together. So those are my thoughts. But most exciting, I get to introduce Keith Takanada, who is our SVP of Sales from Lucid, and he's going to talk about the evolution of our demo to build a $1 billion brand. Just a delightful human being. So excited to hear you. I'm going to be quiet and hand it over to you. Keith, take it away.
Thank you, Doug. Really appreciate that and love your stats. And I couldn't agree more with really the changing landscape that's happening, and love that coinage of buyerlytics. Love it.
Yeah, right on. Here we go. All right.
Here we go. Well, thank you. Thank you, Doug. All right, team. Well, it's great to be with all of you. My name is Keith Tanaka, and I'm very excited to talk with you about how we've used consensus and how the evolution of our demo to build a $1 billion brand. So with that, let me share my screen. All right. All right. So how we use consensus and the evolution of our demo to build a $1 billion brand. As Doug mentioned, my name is Keith, and I run our global sales program here at Lucid. And Lucid, we are the leader in visual collaboration. What does that mean? We help teams see and build the future. And at Lucid, we have this fundamental belief that a picture is truly worth 1,000 words. And I was just talking to Mark earlier. You may be familiar with this. This is actually one of our customers and how they did sprint planning. I put it in black and white just to maybe make it look a little more archaic. But this is actually a true boardroom where people are gathering, bringing their best ideas to the table. And I believe this is how people did sprint planning or collaborated before visual collaboration was even a thing. And I actually enjoy this. I enjoy gathering with people. I enjoy the energy of actually physically putting something on the board. But there's always something that happens at the end. Someone has to document it. Someone has to create that artifact that lives on. And it looks like this guy is the guy that's being responsible. And talking with our customers, it typically takes hours, sometimes days, to capture all the sticky notes, all the impressions, all the feedback that happened in a meeting, just to, one, create a living document. And I think living is a little much, being that it's then put in a static. So this is Lucid. Lucid is a living, breathing document that lives within in real time. You can see what your teammates are doing, looking at planning, the impacts, who made changes, when did they make changes, maybe why did they make changes, and just a beautiful way to then take what I was just showing you and bring it to life. And this is what we do. So Lucid, by the numbers, we have over 70 million users. That's incredible. It's a staggering number. 250 reps spread across the globe. This is a stat that I love to share. We're the #1 most used app on Okta. That's exciting for us. And we've been in business for over 13 years. Now that 70 million users, we actually get about 1 million new signups every single month. And that actually is exciting from a funnel perspective. Our marketing team does a fantastic job. It also introduces some challenges for these reps. And what company wouldn't be exciting, or what company wouldn't be a company without revenue challenges? I often feel like this young woman sitting over here, maybe every quarter end, trying to hit our number. But I'll speak to our revenue challenges here at Lucid, and maybe you find similar challenges at your business. But the first is an evolving sales landscape, particularly with AI and just the proliferation of SaaS. There are so many more entrants in any business category, and constantly trying to stay up to speed on what the market is doing, what the competitors are doing, and making sure that you are tapping in your message at the right time to the right people. There's a lot of economic uncertainty. I'm here in the Bay today and just met with a customer yesterday where they're evaluating. They're looking to consolidate their software, reduce their spend, and I think just the signs of what's going on in the global the macro economy and the global environment definitely creates a lot of economic uncertainty. And then for me personally, having 250 reps with 9 languages, with teams that focus on SMB customers, mid-market, enterprise, it is a challenge scaling knowledge across the sales team. I just finished our QBRs, and we had our amazing SEs in the room. And there was a quick joke that was made, like the smartest people and the most valuable people, and I stand by that. But taking the knowledge of our SCs and not only sharing it with our customers, but also with our sellers, things that I constantly think about. So why consensus? And I love this line that I heard, that companies don't rise to the goals; they actually fall to the level of their systems. And here's just a quick view of some of the systems that we use. And we have a lot of data from those 1 million new signups every single month. And this last piece right here, we're excited as we're evaluating consensus. And I'll just spoil alert, consensus and Lucid does win in this scenario. And I'm very excited to share a little bit more about that. What consensus did for me and our teams, one, it provided a very clear and unified outreach strategy. Before consensus, a lot of our reps would spray and pray, a lot of email, a lot of phone calls, and they were trying to make those phone calls to get them on the phone to then pitch the product. And with consensus, it was awesome to not only leverage the data we already had about a user. So they signed up, they wanted to learn about an org chart. Hey, here's information, exactly what you're looking for. Here's actually how to leverage an org chart and build an org chart. And it was amazing to see not only a unified strategy, but then to be able to impact those open rates, those conversion rates based on our messaging. Our operational efficiency. Awesome to see us get very unified in how we approach the customer and what our best practices in approaching our customers. And then lastly, I always look at any software. What does it show our team? And does it show them that we're invested in them? And does it help us build our culture? Yesterday, a few of my colleagues were talking about how true software is actually a way to enforce and build culture. All right, so our consensus implementation at Lucid, it was a very, I would say, thoughtful implementation. Our CF pilot with consensus, who's going to use it? Are people actually going to use it? And it was fun to see as we signed up for the pilot, everyone wanted it. And it was really on us to say who really needs it versus who really wants it. And we gave it to those first who really needed it. And it was awesome to see the adoption early on. It came from our SMB teams and our BDR teams, and they viewed consensus as, and I quote, the killer prospecting tool. And as I was mentioning earlier, here they had SalesLoft. So we integrated it very quickly with SalesLoft. But before that, they were just sending blind emails, maybe with some specific messaging, but really no deep content. And with consensus, it was awesome to build up an amazing library built from either our SE team or others within our organization, and for our SMB and BDR teams to see immediate traction. And obviously with our SEs, with 250 strong closers and probably 10% of that being our SE team, we were trying to protect their time. And some of the wins that we saw in our, some of the wins that we saw with consensus here at Lucid, we love using our own product and how we integrate with any of our vendors. So we created a visual map of the video library, so our can actually not only see the library, but have quick hints of here's the type of personas, here's the type of conversations that you should be having along with this video that you're either going to send to an executive or a potential prospect. And this is just a quick view of what that would look like. If any of our reps were to click on this, not only should take them to the library, but also give them those tips of how to best sell to our users. And then obviously, how do we save our SCs from ensuring that their time is spent wisely and has the most impact? And I love this. As we're evaluating and looking at consensus and the value that it brought to us, literally being able to reach out to more people, so 500 plus users, that really would equal a week of saved time from our SCs, and just incredible savings. It would really be 66 hours is equivalent to 8+ business days of time that we saved from our SCs, and obviously a huge ROI and time savings game for us. And I just wanted to share some of our best practices with you and then open it up for questions. But our best practices for consensus, your view rate is only as good as your content. And what I mean by that is the content, you still have to write a very compelling subject line. Reps still have to really do some homework on the prospect, and do we have a tailored message? So it was great to not only see the view rates continue to increase, but also our efficiency based on really not only the content of our consensus videos, but also of the actual emails or messaging that we're sending out. And then the second one is your view time is a reflection of your content. And what I mean by that is your content should be speaking from an authentic place. Is it truly solving the customer's business needs? And it was very interesting to see as we evaluated the demos that our SEs did the most, and being able to then create a consensus video in our library to share that with our customers. Not only see that be a very probably a view time of average of 6.5 minutes, but just to see specific content and what people are really diving into, to then not only an indication for our reps to then spend more time on that, but also our SEs to create more content around that. And I love consensus. I also think that consensus doesn't replace meetings, it enhances meetings. And what I mean by that is that one, our customers are more prepared. When they come to calls, they understand, they have better questions. I think also it allows our team in a way that I'm very passionate about, how we show up for our customers, to be authentic, to be present, and to really listen to our customers. Many times, I think before consensus, we're very worried about making sure we have the perfect demo, making sure that we did all the right discovery. But consensus allows us to truly show up and be present for our customers. So in summary, we are all in. We are all in on consensus. We appreciate the partnership. Every step of the way, they've been a true partner with us. And with consensus, we feel like we have an ace up our sleeve. And thanks to consensus, we continue to evolve our demo, continue to build the value of our business, and it's very exciting for us to see. So with that, I'd love to bring back, we have Mark and Tyler Green, who leads up our sales engineering team here, and would love to just open it up for any questions.
Sure thing. Don't forget, you can put your questions in the Q&A section over on the right-hand side in the platform, or you can just stick in the chat. We'll be monitoring that as well. But we're waiting for Tyler to arrive in. And as if magic, there he is. Hey, welcome, Tyler. Welcome to the fun.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't realize till now that I'd be joining. I'm glad I was ready.
Nice, nice. Well, I know you always have your I Love Lucid shirt on underneath there, just in case, right?
It's always on. That's right.
Of course. Well, let me kick things off, and then we can see how the Q&A section goes. Someone says here from Tim Parmentier, do you have a dedicated team of content creators that are still active in the field, or is that their sole focus? And a second part of the question, which internal teams collaborate to create the content, and what are their responsibilities when creating videos and tours?
Maybe I'll take that first one. I'll take the latter one, Tyler, and you can talk about the content creation.
Yeah.
So which internal teams collaborate? Since we are a visual collaboration company, it's actually all parts of our business, from product to engineering, R&D, our CS teams. We all collaborate. We actually use our own product as we're spinning up ideas for content, spinning up ideas for product, for sales process. We're always spinning up a document and then sharing that out. We can actually tag people if they're not in a meeting, hey, respond here. So it's actually quite a number of teams that collaborate for content. And then Tyler, if you want to take that.
Yeah, we don't have
content.
Yeah, we don't have a dedicated resource. What we've done is we've carved out some partial resources to create content, really mostly when we were onboarding consensus. So during our pilot period, we needed to create some of our initial videos and test which kinds of videos we felt were most authentically lucid. And that took a lot of work. However, now we're at a steady state where I think we have the majority of videos we need, and the entire solution engineering team feels empowered to create the videos that they think are the most vital to how we're selling today. And we don't feel at this time that we need a dedicated content team. But it's something we keep our eyes on. There may be a need for it in the future.
Excellent. Well, personally, I can recommend it. It's good for getting all the subject matter experts who are not demo experts, demo creation or content creation experts, and drawing that out of them into a templated way. So we've got another question. Someone who possibly knows you, for a guy called Bradley. Did you buy that mic specifically for recording consensus content, Tyler?
I wish I actually bought this mic right when COVID hit, and I thought all these things are going to be hard to get. I better splurge on some of the things I want in my home office before I can't get them anymore.
Well, it's coming through very well. I think you might have the best radio DJ voice ever with that microphone. So the next question is, am I able to play around with your Lucid Consensus platform? I've always been curious about it, but never used. So perhaps the more focus towards the Lucid platform. But Jonathan, do add more in the comments if you'd like clarification.
Yeah, Jonathan, you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to show you what it looks like.
Excellent, excellent. So Ruben asks, what are your top 3 criteria for compelling demo content?
Top 3 criteria. I would say to give value up front. Don't bury the lead. Be authentic would be number 2. This was something the Consensus team really hammered home with my team, that it's important to come across as authentic, casual, not to sound heavily scripted or heavily rehearsed, to not over edit every little stumble you may make in the video. Make it seem almost like a private Zoom meeting recording that was a meeting they couldn't quite attend, but was for them originally. So that's 2. I'll keep thinking about a third that might come to mind. Maybe Keith has a thought on a third one.
Yeah. And I shared it, but I think being present on a call, and by being present, are we prepared? Do we know who we're talking to? I think at Lucid, we really try to make a point to connect, build strong relationships, but just by being present.
Nice. I love that. That's really great. Thank you for showing that. Another one from Bradley here. It says, did you have any incentives or challenges getting your sales team engaged and using Consensus? Any tips? Maybe that's for Keith.
Yeah. In the beginning, everyone wanted it. And obviously you have your early adopters and then you have your laggards. We decided not to do any incentives for usage. We actually wanted to see who really was going to use it and how are they going to use it. Tyler was actually a very strong internal champion of making sure people understood how to use the product. And then I think as we've rolled it out now, we have enough success stories. And what I shared, a lot of success came from our SMB and BDR programs, maybe a little more transactional. And then we had innovators on our enterprise team who are working with some of the largest customers in the world, where they now have some amazing success stories, sending very custom Consensus videos to executives at Fortune 100 companies and getting traction. So now with those success stories and promoting them internally, it's been a lot easier to get people to adopt.
One thing we're in the process of doing now, Mark, is bringing all of the Consensus view data into our analytics data lake, which we use Snowflake. And with that data in Snowflake, we're going to be able to soon to add Consensus sends and video views to be part of the sales rep dashboard. So it'll be a measure of their activity. So it'll be sitting alongside things like email sends, meetings held, things like that. So I think in terms of natural incentives, that's a really great one, because customer viewing a Consensus video is highly scalable for the rep's time and is really productive activity that reflects customer interests. So that data, I think, being brought to parity with the other activity data that we look at regularly will be a natural incentive. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like a very good way to do it. If anyone's interested, Matt Lauer has got a session later where he's going to be talking about similar things. Sounds like you and Matt Lauer might already be friends. It sounds like you're getting some good benefits from there. That, by the way, the stat that Doug shared at the start, if you get 12 demo views, and then your close rate goes up to 27%, so 72%. Yeah, that's straight out of the data. We're reading, like, it's actually a thing, like, because a lot of statistics are made up, 33% of them, in fact. But yeah, we're very pleased to share that. So more questions. Everyone's loving the Q&A section right now. It is blowing up. So we've got, do you have a dedicated admin to manage consensus? Someone that pushes the content, understanding what content is needed, the settings, etc., stuff like that.
I am currently acting as the
Amy.
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's kind of spread between a few of us. So I'm acting as the main admin when it comes to licenses and users. I work with our IT team as well to help provision through Okta. And a member of my team who has been really involved in our consensus rollout is the main admin over the content pipeline. But as I mentioned earlier, we use Lucid heavily to collaborate and brainstorm on what content we feel is needed for our go-to-market teams. And the entire SE team feels empowered to create videos that are useful to them personally and then make them in a way that would be generic and valuable to everyone. So we don't have, as I said before, a dedicated content creator anymore, but we use Lucid to sort of centralize the assets that would be the most valuable in today's world, and which videos are maybe becoming old and need to be updated.
Nice. Well, as a user of Lucid, our bio-enablement engineer, Ty, he uses Lucid to do that. And it works surprisingly well. So thank you. Okay. How do you handle prospects which do not engage with the created demo boards?
Yeah, this is something we're still navigating through. So we didn't launch Consensus initially in our Europe office, but we are starting to roll it out there now this year more significantly. And what's been interesting is hearing from my support team members at Consensus telling me how successful Consensus has been in the EMEA region with other accounts. So we're really looking forward to being successful there. I think it comes down to your outreach being really effective and setting the right tone, suggesting that this demo is private. This demo is for your account. This is something I made for you. This is not just some, marketing data harvesting platform that I want you to engage in. So, we follow GDPR rules and we send notifications to the user upon seeing a Consensus "Who are you?" screen. But if the rep has done their job and put a personalized intro video on that demo, we expect to see the majority of customers feeling comfortable moving through that "Who are you?" screen and onto the demo content itself. So I would say we're not yet there in our journey with our EMEA team, but that is an area of growth for us this year that I'm feeling more confident in with the Consensus team's help.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. So we got both Katie Strong and Tom Lyons asked very similar questions, which is with regards to the updating, both sunsetting content, updating it, keeping it in line with the platform, with your platform or software. I imagine that, and is asking about, do you keep it in line with the product roadmap or different periods throughout the year?
Yeah, this is a good question. There's definitely going to be need for some videos to be updated, especially if product functionality is different or the user experience is now going to be different. So a user watching a video is actually not getting good education. I don't know that we would go update all of our videos simply because of a messaging change. I think if the videos were made in a way that felt like a friend was teaching you about the product, then it shouldn't feel like you're getting scripted marketing messaging. So I would say that lots of messaging changes in terms of how we market ourselves don't indicate a need to change our demo content videos, which should come off as really authentic, a friend teaching a friend how something works and why it's valuable. So that's been our approach. But I could see a world where some changes would be required. I think one thing I like about Consensus, as opposed to hosting all of your demo videos in like YouTube or something like that, is you can see really clearly what's being sent and what's not being sent. So a better indicator of what needs updating is videos that aren't being watched, videos that aren't being sent. And maybe there's a video that needs to be updated, but it hasn't been sent in a long time. We may not prioritize updating it if it's not one that reps are interested in. We do some research first. So that's one thing we like about the Consensus platform, is we don't just know the view rates, we also know the rep engagement, which is, I think, pretty important to knowing what content's needed or what's stale.
Yeah, and maybe just one thing to add is as new products are coming down the pike, our reps partner with our SEs and create, again, demos or just intros, particularly for VIP customers, large customers, where we can actually introduce and not only get them familiar with the product that's coming down the pike, but also then we see how often they share it. And typically that is one of the things that we're really interested in. How do we continue to expand within our accounts? So future roadmap, sending out these custom videos, that is, I guess, one way we're updating our content is just as new product comes down.
So many thoughts, but it's not my session. So we've got one from a salesperson here. Keith, as a sales SVP, you must get a lot of salespeople trying to sell to you. And I bet you hear the same: shorten sales cycles, close more deals, etc. every day. What was it that cut through the LinkedIn and email noise this time and made you look at a system like Consensus?
Yeah, that's a great question. Who was that from? Tom.
Tom
Thank you, Tom. Tom McLeod. Great question. Yes, I do get hit up every day, probably 10, 20 times a day on how people can help me shorten my sales cycle and increase my revenue. Consensus came through peer recommendation. So leaders that I know and respect were sharing how they had used Consensus at previous jobs, and where they came from are some of the most respected software companies in the world. And to hear how it changed their sales process, I was very intrigued. Met with a few other sales leaders, just who are friends, and was able to validate, yes, you guys should really check out Consensus. And Rex and the team have just been fantastic to work with. We were sold.
Excellent. Well, lovely to hear that. But yes, you know, the power of people, you know, and so the more authentic you can be in videos and demos, then the better as well, right? So thank you for showing that. Okay, we've got Ed. It said, if you had one tip for a company mid-onboarding with Consensus, what would it be?
Yeah, I got one for you, Ed. I think the answer is empathy. It's selling differently or changing the way you think about selling. That's hard, and it's difficult introducing a new tool and encouraging a group of people to use it, let alone ask them to think a little bit differently about how they give information and enable buyers. So be patient, have empathy, just make it a routine where every day you're encouraging people to try something or to do something a certain way. And as people see success with it and see the time savings, or see an account get more excited about the product, find new contacts within an account because a video was shared, as they see those rewards, they'll catch on. So, you know, don't advertise it as a silver bullet. Nothing is, but as they use the tool and use it well, they'll see the ROI for themselves. So just have empathy. You're asking them to change something that they've been doing maybe a long time, and it might take longer than you want it to, but be patient and keep pushing.
Yeah, and then I'll just share one from my perspective. It's short and ongoing trainings with the team. Tyler did this with our team. Yes, we can do the onboarding, and here's everything that it can do. The minute they go back to selling, they're going to forget probably 90% of that. So just really short trainings of things that for wherever you're at in that pilot or implementation that you really need your reps to do has really made a big difference for us.
Excellent. Well, so thank you. Next question from Art From. So he says, how far downstream internally throughout the buyer engagement process do you share the info you've gathered from consensus? So I imagine that is how much do you share the analytics that you've gleaned with the various teams as the buyers journey through the sales process?
I want to make sure I understand this question correctly. We make all the consensus video engagement data available to users within their role in consensus. So we've mapped every user to the team that they're on, and they can see all of the engagement data for the members of their team. So reps can see their peers in their pod. The SE is in that pod with them, and everyone can see everyone's send rates. Nothing's hidden. If the question's more about where in the buying journey are we using consensus and sending those videos, I would say end to end.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think I think you've answered it there. It's also about you get buyer insight and intent early on using the demos, but then how does that flow through to people later on, sort of closing?
Yeah. I'll give you an answer to that one. So we have an enterprise rep who has found that consensus is his killer way of getting leaders on the call. And the way he does that is he works through the executive admins, and they typically say, everyone's very busy, calendars are very difficult. We can get you all together on a call next month sometime. And this rep is not satisfied with that timeline. And he says, no problem. How about I send you an automated demo that overviews what we've been doing with your teams? And they make a custom personalized demo that has a section for each user group that we've been talking to. And the SE usually records that. The rep will do the personalized intro, send it out. And what he finds is that leaders make time, and suddenly they can all meet to discuss this use case in the next week. So I would say end to end, and the early videos inform the later ones. And I would say the later in the deal cycle we are, more custom these videos tend to get.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Well, yes. So yes, still lots and lots of questions about content. So that seems to be content is king. Yes. I'll take one of them. So we've done what are some steps to keep it evergreen? AI content. Do you see demos being outsourced to AI generated content?
I thought about
You're
this. You're
talking to a guy who, yes, is a AI aficionado. So yes, Tyler.
Yeah, I've thought about this a fair bit, and I think that I think it's certainly possible that AI video will make its way into the sales profession. However, I do think that it will be very difficult, and we're not quite there yet, for these videos to feel as authentic and personal as our top performing videos do. So I think I don't want to short sell what AI will be possible of doing in the future, but I think for now, it's not a threat for what we're doing in consensus, I would say.
It's interesting. So I can't speak Bulgarian, but AI can convert a video for me so that it looks like I do. And certainly if someone is in Bulgaria, I say that because we've got some teams there. If it's not perfect Bulgarian, but at least it's in their language, I think that's a kindness that otherwise wasn't available before. So I think not even a threat. It might just be one step of being even more pre-sales, even more surprisingly helpful. That's
a great point. Yeah, I think enhancing your videos or increasing their reach with AI is certainly on the table. I think I think what will be challenging is for the tone and delivery to come off. I think the uncanny valley is still big enough that we aren't the first, I'll say, market to be cannibalized by AI. I think sales might be one of the last, if I'm being honest. I think that there's a human element we crave deeply. And I think a lot of the trends toward this form of buying reflect that. that we want a human connection in buying, and I don't think AI can replace it, or at least I haven't seen that it's going to.
Agreed. So we've got a question from Logan, who says, "Would love to hear about the initial buying experience of Consensus at Lucid," and goes on to clarify, was it internally motivated, sought out, or were you prospected? Well, I think we covered a little bit of that before, Keith, but it says, but Logan says, if you were at a company that doesn't have any kind of buyer enablement, how might you suggest to get the gears cranking? And I feel that Logan, I don't know if you're the person trying to crank those gears, but what advice have we got for Logan?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Keith. We had an experience. I don't know if you remember this, but we had an important call. Our CEO was going to be getting on a call with another CEO and some of the technical leaders, and this call was going to be more than just pitching Lucid, but also pitching some partnership. And my CEO asked if I could prep him to do the demo. Well, he was really short on time. And so a day before he says, actually, you do the demo. And then even shorter on time, he said, actually, we need to change the demo. It needs to be, let's just do something really, really short. And I said, I don't think there's time. Let's just send a video. Now, this is when we were thinking about Consensus, but we hadn't moved forward yet. And I just recorded a video, a file, basically, and we hosted it somewhere and we sent it off. And these executives got the video day in advance and they watched it. And then when it came time to meet, they just gushed over the video, specifically the format, not my delivery or whatever. They said, that was really great. We really appreciated getting that video ahead of time. That's really prepared us for this conversation today. Just wanted to thank you for that. And so my CEO and my CRO and Keith was there and others, they all heard this customer leader say how much they liked the format. So I think that kind of got everyone warm, especially my CFO, warm to this idea. And so I would say if you're wanting to move forward, maybe use a lesser tool, just record videos and just send them out and measure little things that you can measure and show that value. And if you have any opportunities to do so in a way right in front of your CEO, then that could be helpful. But if not, I would say just gather some insights using some simpler tools and then move forward pitching what would be the best solution for everyone, which is Consensus.
And Logan, I'd also suggest revenue heals a lot of challenges in any company. And when you can actually look at pre and post, how long does it take to either get to a meeting? How long does it take to qualify a meeting, to create pipeline? We actually can see it within our data of correlation between time spent watching videos, the conversion rates to ops, and then obviously the pipeline that's created from those ops. So more of the detail, there's the technicalities, but when you can go back with true ROI of how this is driving more revenue, most CFOs like that.
So that might have answered Tom's question as well here, but we're going to just test out the theory. We've got time for a few more. So Tom says, Tyler, was Consensus a drive by you leading the SE org at Lucid? And if so, did you need to lobby for support from SMB and SDR managers to invest and get the green light from Keith? It would be great to understand the hoops you had to jump through to get it in.
Yeah, it was spearheaded by me and my team. And what we had done for a quarter or two prior was in the last couple of weeks of the quarter, as SEs at Lucid, we've noticed that our reps are pretty 50-50. Some of them we stop hearing from because they're just trying to get contracts signed. The other half are already working hard on their next quarter. And so sometimes they ramp up the amount of need they have from their SE right at the end of quarter. So it can be kind of a mixed bag. And what we started offering was demo videos. We were doing this in Slack, and reps were really enjoying this because they were trying to get deals done, but they had some customers reaching back out to them, and they didn't want to delay meeting with that customer a few weeks, but they didn't really have time to take a meeting. So we said, why don't you keep some of your leads warm with a video, and let's meet them right after the new quarter starts, but they will have seen some things through these videos. And that worked really well. We did that for a couple quarters. And I think doing that sort of warmed everyone up to this idea and warmed them up to this idea that the SEs could own a demo video solution within the company. We didn't need to depend on another technology team or something like that, marketing team perhaps, to do that for us. We could do it within sales. So it was spearheaded by us. I guess there were a number of different events that led up to people being warm to the idea, so that when we brought forward the idea of getting a platform that would do some of these things that we've done before, although manually, but now we would get all of the tracking, we would get all of the content management and all of that built into the platform, then it made a lot more sense. Now we still had to put together a strong case study, and we did a pilot that Keith mentioned, and it was the results of that pilot. And I think the rep and customer engagement with the videos that I think ultimately led to the buy decision. But to move forward with that pilot, I think it was some of those precursors that made sense.
Lovely. Well, one final question then, and that is to Keith. When you're, I know you're an avid golfer, and you're possibly as good as me, which is why I feel safe enough to go playing golf with you one day. That's probably okay. If you were trying to if you were trying to explain the success you've seen through not specifically consensus, but enabling buyers better to someone, what would be your elevator pitch?
Can you repeat the question? So how would I explain buyer enablement?
What would be, how would you describe that focusing on the buyer needs that you've grown there to someone in brief?
You bet. People don't want to be sold to, period. And at Lucid and just in my sales career, I want to sell with empathy. And Tyler shares it, but it is a word that I use every single week within my organization. And empathy is hearing someone through their ears, seeing someone through their eyes, and feeling someone through their heart. And that when we can actually do that, that is when we can unlock truly the buyer's journey. Wow,
he's good at this. That's what a perfect round off to the session. Keith, Tyler, it's an absolute honor to have had you presenting. Thank you very much indeed. That's wonderful. With that, I'm happy to share that we're coming back. DemoFest is being brought back on the road, as you know, and we had a great time in San Francisco. At every session, you will hear the great time we had in San Francisco. It was actually very, very good. And we're coming to London and New York, so we'd love you to join there as well. You can register to join us at either of these events at demofest.com or at the link in the Docs tab on the right of your screen. We also encourage you to stop by our expo hall, visit our premier partners of DemoFest, go check out the Consensus Academy. Remember, there's no transfer of money involved in this event, so all our partners here have gone above and beyond to making this event a success for you all. And thank you for joining us this session, and to thank you and to Keith and Tyler for that valuable insight and knowledge, really an insider track in how they're making Lucid one of the greatest companies in the world. Up on the screen of the upcoming sessions, you will automatically be pushed to the next session in your track, and you can switch tracks or sessions by toggling to the agenda tab at the top left of your screen. Thank you very much indeed, and we will see you soon.